I cannot stress how important that is and how long it took me to realize that and how faster I would have accelerated this entire like application and interview process. Hey guys, it's Naz. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about how I got into tech without any experience or like any prior tech experience, and share some tips and tricks on how you can as well if that's what you're looking to go into. So don't forget to subscribe and let's just get into it. So to start off, I'm just going to give a little bit of background, my career, education, whatnot. I graduated college, graduated from Rutgers in 2021 with a bachelor's in public health. Don't ask me why I chose that as my major. That was the most expensive mistake of my life. Pretty useless degree if you're not gonna get a master's in it. It's also really hard to work in that field and get paid well. And originally what I was planning on doing was doing an accelerated nursing program, and the public health degree requirements overlap with what I would need for an accelerated nursing program. So I thought they went hand in hand. However, senior year of college, of course, when it's all too late, I had a midlife crisis, I guess you could say, and I was like, I really don't know if I want to do nursing anymore. So I decided that I wasn't going to. I didn't really try that hard with applying to a lot of schools. I applied to 2 and got denied, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take this as a sign that I shouldn't do nursing. And I was already 73K in debt, so I would have to take out even more loans, and I was like, is it really gonna be worth it? Like, I'm gonna be drowning in so much debt and I have to do more school. And I was just at the point where I wanted to make money right away, so I decided to not do any more school and apply to jobs. I was kind of like looking all over. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I thought pharma sales would be a good route to try just because I heard that they make a lot of money. That was literally the only reason. And during college I did work at Rutgers Telefund, which is basically like a call center, and you call alumni and basically beg for donations. So that was cold call experience and like sales experience in a way. I wasn't selling anything, but I was trying to convince people to donate. I did pretty well in that, so I thought maybe I should do sales. So I went for it. I did pharma sales for like 10 months. I graduated in May and I got my first pharma sales job in July. Then I quit in April, which I can make a whole nother video about that, like pros and cons of pharma sales and also why I quit. But I was not happy at all in pharma sales. However, that was sales experience, so I did leverage that with my tech sales interviews. I also mentioned the cold calling as well, but really it's not a necessity to have prior like sales experience if you want to get into tech sales. And everything that I'm saying when I'm saying to get into tech, I mean tech sales, because really that's the only way you can get there. If you are like trying to start fresh, new, maybe you just graduated, there's like a lot of hate on TikTok, I feel like, when people are like, oh, like I love tech, and they're like, yeah, but like there are a bunch of roles that aren't even tech related. They're like marketing in tech or sales in tech, like it's nothing technical. And I'm like, okay, but I don't understand why you're hating, because that's what people want to know. People want to know how to get into the industry, and they're not engineers or anything that's related to tech, but you still want to be in that industry and just do any role to get the tech benefits, to get that tech pay of just being in that industry. So basically tech sales is the only way that you can do that. That's like the bottom of the bottom, not in a bad way. Like, I don't mean, you know, you do all the dirty work and you're underpaid. You're not underpaid. A lot of SDRs make 6 figures and you do get great benefits, you know, and that's a part of being in the tech industry. But what I mean by sales being the bottom is that if you want like any other career within tech that isn't sales and you don't have any prior experience related to that and you can't get there, the only way that you're going to be able to get there is throughout being an SDR first for maybe like a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, and then you can climb your way up to do whatever you want, whether that's like, it could be a customer success manager, or you can be an account executive. I mean, I know that's still sales, so if you don't like that aspect, you can go into something else, but you can literally go into so many different positions, but you need to have that first as like a stepping stone and then work your way up. So basically I realized I hated my job and I wanted out, so I figured I should do tech sales. For a moment I did want to do like merchandising or be a buyer like for fashion, because I thought that would be interesting and, you know, something that I'm passionate about and that I would like. However, I just had no experience that was related to that. I was constantly getting denied from applications and I gave up on that. I could have done something a little bit better, which is what I'm gonna say what I did to get into tech sales, but I just kind of gave up on that and I was like, I need to make money, and I think I'm gonna make more money with tech sales, so I'm just gonna go for that instead. I'm done about passion. Passion is not gonna pay the bills. So basically what I did now finally to get actually into tech sales, and what I'm about to say I recommend you do as well if this is something that you want to go into. Number one that I did, or what I realized after working for 8 months, I think it was even less than that when I was like trying to look into other jobs, I finally realized what was important in terms of a job. Like when I first graduated, I just got a job just to get a job. I was like, I don't care what it is, I just need a job, period. And that's what I did. But I didn't take into account like a bunch of other different factors that I now did and that I now will continue to. Number one is company culture. I needed a place that had amazing company culture, because you have no idea how much like being like, you work so many hours of your life. You're working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Most of your time is spent working. So if you're surrounded by people that like just bring negativity out of you and are negative and don't motivate you, like you are going to see it and feel that and just be so down pretty much every single day, and it's going to carry out even into hours that you're not working. So I was like, I just want a place with good company culture, also a much higher pay. I was basically getting paid dog shit in my last job, so, and I had a minimum for my first job, but I didn't myself. I lowered my standards because I thought, okay, maybe I just can't get this. Don't do that. Don't lower your standards for salary, because I promise you, as long as it's not like absurdly high or something that's just not reasonable, like you will find a company that will pay you what you want. I decided that I wasn't gonna budge on what I wanted for a salary. Also, it needed to be a product or service, software that was sellable. Those are 3 things that I recommend you look for as well, because if not, chances are you're not going to be happy and you're not going to want to stay at the company for long enough, and as soon as you get the job you're going to be looking to go somewhere else, which just isn't fun. Right now I'm just so relieved that I can just do my job and I'm not constantly looking to go somewhere else. And even after working for almost a year, the application process and just not even getting that first interview was so hard, and the experience that I did have I thought would make a difference, but it didn't. So after those 3 things, you have that in your mind mentally. That's your checklist. The way that I found companies to basically meet these requirements, I follow TechStorm, I think is his TikTok username. I could be saying it wrong, but I'll insert it here. But he's just a guy that works in tech sales and makes a boatload of money. I watched a lot of his videos when I was just like looking at jobs, and he mentioned a website called RepView. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but basically it's like a Glassdoor for tech companies where they rank them all. You could do it based off of salary. They also rank based off of other things like company culture, product market fit, how many employees are making quota, and employee satisfaction, things like that, which is really great because those are the things that matter, or that should matter to you if you're looking for a job. So basically I went on that site and I just went down the list in a row and looked up all those companies on LinkedIn, tried to find people that work there and send them an invite. This is another thing, which even if you're not trying to go into tech sales or tech, whatever industry, whatever job it is, you absolutely have to do this if you're looking for a job. I thought it was kind of weird at first, but reach out to people on LinkedIn. If you're gonna take anything from this video, let it be that. Any job that you want to get, you need to reach. I cannot stress how important that is and how long it took me to realize that, and how faster I would have accelerated this entire like application and interview process, and just getting that first interview and not getting rejected would have been. So I did not think that it was a good idea to reach out to people. I don't know, I was scared to. I thought it was weird to, you know, just ask a complete stranger like for a referral for a position at the company, someone that I didn't even know. But basically you need a referral for any job you want to apply to. Get referred, because that is what's going to get you the interview, or else chances are, you know, no matter what your resume looks like, and if you think you are fit for it, if you're qualified, and even if you are, there's a high chance that you're gonna get that automatic rejection email. I have applied to over 100 jobs and had, I think, like 3 or 4 interviews. The rest were just rejections. I didn't even get like the first interview. So step 1 is connect with people from companies that you think you want to apply to, and just send them a message. Just be like, hey, introduce yourself. I'm, you know, whether you just graduated or you're currently working in blank and blank, you want to make the transition into the tech industry, you know, you're really interested in it, and I would love to hear more about your experience. do you have any time that we can have a quick phone call and talk about it, just about you and your experience at blank company? And if they're a nice person, they're gonna respond, which you'll be surprised how many nice people there are. You're never gonna know if you don't try. So I would say send that to as many people as you can. Also look for people who attended your same college. So alumni, because I use that to my advantage. I'm like, oh, I saw that you went to Rutgers. I went to Rutgers too. That's literally what I said into the message that I sent the person that I got referred to for my current company. The person responded, he said, yeah, sure. So we had a phone call. It went great. I asked him questions about the company. And even if you're not trying to get a referral, I would recommend you do this anyways. You should always reach out to people, just ask them about the company. And it's always better if they no longer work at the company, because then you get like, you know, the real tea and the good and the bad and the ugly. And, you know, without fear, they might be scared, I don't know, to say something bad if they currently work there. So if it's someone who's worked there before in the past, like chances are you're gonna get the full honest truth, and maybe you can make a decision to not work somewhere if you think you really wanted to, see if that's something that you really want to get yourself into. And here's another thing, if you feel bad about getting a referral, don't, because chances are is that if it's a decent enough company, which you're gonna want to work for regardless, they will give their employees a bonus for giving out referrals. And I didn't know this until I joined my current company and they told us how much you get for giving out a referral. So don't feel bad, because chances are the person you're reaching out to is gonna want to give you a referral, even if you're a total stranger, because they're gonna get something out of it. They're gonna get a nice pretty check. So you're doing something for them just as much as they're doing something for you. So that's just, you know, something if you're worried or scared just to think about. So I would love if someone reached out to me and was like, could you give me a referral? Like, yeah, I'll refer anyone. I want my referral check. In terms of finding a company, I would say go on RepView. That will be your best friend. That's how I found my current company. I just looked at whatever was somewhat highly ranked and picked those. And once you have your desired company of your dreams, you get referred, you have to prep for the interview. Now, if you don't have any sales experience or like any work experience at all, that is perfectly fine, because being an SDR is an entry-level role. You don't need anything prior. They will teach you everything. Onboarding is a whole month long. So like, even if you do have experience, you're gonna have to learn the product and everything about it. So like, everyone's gonna have the same amount to learn basically. Experience really doesn't matter. It's an entry-level role, so don't be afraid of that. The only thing you have to do during the interview is just sell yourself. Sell yourself as much as you can. And my number one tip is that during the first interview, this was a mistake that I made with another company that I applied to and got rejected after the first round. And I realized why immediately as soon as I got the email. And it's that basically during the first interview, you have to kiss their ass. Like, I'm not even kidding. You need to say all the reasons why you think they're a great company and that they're so wonderful, and you read this, this, and this. Maybe there's something in the news about them that's good, or like, I don't know, any recent story or update. Just bring that up and be like, I think you guys are great because of this. Read things about on their LinkedIn about their company culture and bring all of that up in their interview, because I promise you that is what's going to get you the second interview. So don't expect that you're going to get the second one. That is a mistake that I made with the one that I got rejected after the first round. I just already like thought that I was going to get the second interview and I was going to bring it all up then, but that's a mistake. Definitely bring it all up during the first one. Basically tell them how amazing they are. Obviously tell them how amazing you are too, and you really have to sell yourself, but while you're selling yourself, make sure you're also focusing on them basically just as much. Obviously don't overdo it and be like, I want this so bad, because that's not gonna look good. But you definitely just have to, you know, throw in there a couple of times of why you think they're a good company and how you think their goals also align with yours, and like give an example, and also give a story when you're saying things. Like if you say like, oh, I'm really hardworking, don't just say that. Give a story to represent it, because that's something that's going to stick in their mind, because anyone can say I'm hardworking, I'm organized, but you want to say a story that's actually going to prove it. Also look up everything you can about the company. For my company, after my second round interview, or I guess this would be the third, yeah, the third round. Like the first round was with the recruiter, very basic, very chill, nothing to stress about. Second round was with my manager. That was also a really chill call. Obviously each company, it could be different, but that second round, they didn't ask me anything that was like too technical or really about like their product too much into depth. It was more just about like basics, covering about me. And that's basically like the first round if you think about it, because the recruiter, like obviously that matters and that counts, but like not really. The third round, which is like the second person that I talked to, she asked me like, what do you know about our company? Like, what do you know about our product? Gave her a brief overview, and she said that was like one of the best explanations that she's heard in an interview in a really long time. And I was like, okay, I'm moving on to the next round. This is great. But you want to be able to speak about what they do and who they are to the best of your ability. Obviously, you don't have to know everything. They're not going to expect you to know that, but they are going to expect you to do your homework and like do your due diligence and know something about what they sell, because you need to put in the effort now so that they can see that later you're going to put in effort and that you actually care about, you know, this process and getting the job. So definitely research as much as you can. Try to understand as much as you can about what they sell, and then you will be golden. I'd say the last tip is to just be conversational. They're going to want to see if you can hold a conversation, because it is a job where you have to talk and communicate with people on the daily. So they don't want someone who doesn't know how to speak to people. So just be conversational, be able to talk, and just sell yourself. So yeah, those are all of my tips. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you follow any of this and land a job. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.